Okay, this is going to be a demonstration of a couple of different CPQ features, Salesforce CPQ features. So we're going to look at dynamic pricing, and we're going to look at dynamic tax and shipping and handling rates as well. So let me go ahead and open up my shopping cart here. So what I'm going to do is add 3 different products. I have a little cheat sheet over here on my other screen, so with the product names. So I'm going to paste those in. Okay, so we're going to have 3 different products on our quote. So you can see, as it stands now, it's pretty bare, right? We're just seeing a bunch of different $0 amounts. So I've already pulled in. You can see I've updated a couple of different field sets. So underneath quote information section, I have a couple different tax and shipping and handling amounts, as well as a couple of different columns for those amounts, at the line level. So just to show you guys the specific amounts at the line, and then the total calculations at the top here. So what I'm going to focus on first is just some of the dynamic pricing. So you can see I have 2 different pick list fields here for my lines. So let's look at the phone product. So right now, again, just $0 amounts for everything across the board. Now, as soon as I select a combination of these 2 fields for my phone, we're going to see some real-time CPQ calculations taking place. Right now, we now have a list price returned of $800, we have a tax amount returned of $48, and we have a shipping and handling total returned of $8, all specific to that line. You can see our amounts up top here, they're going to be dependent upon kind of the grand total, just everything rolling up to these totals at the top. So if I go ahead and change this to, we'll go with big, we're going to see the list unit, that's going to jump up to 1800, and then the tax amount, the shipping and handling, those are going to be dependent upon, of course, the net totals, right, for those lines. So those are going to update as well. And then just to give you guys a little bit more of some of this dynamic functionality, or dynamic pricing, I should say. So Apple, big, this combination is going to return a 3rd net unit, and then if we go with small, we'll have a 4th. So what this is essentially, this is utilizing a price rule with a lookup table. So it basically gives us the ability to, in our case, have 4 different list unit prices with 1 product. So I'm essentially just using the same phone product record for each and every one of these different list units, right? So that makes it so that the rep, whoever's creating or looking at this quote, when they're in that product selection screen that we were just in, when I was copy and pasting those products in there, we don't need to have 4 different products set up just for our phone, right? It's really just this 1 product record for phone, and then we're pulling in some dynamic pricing and injecting values into this list unit price via a CPQ price rule. So it makes it really easy for the sales rep to create their quote and not have to filter or siphon through multiple duplicate product records if we're trying to offer different prices. So that's kind of the first thing that I wanted to show you guys. Now let's get into tax. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up, what is this, Apple small. I'm just going to give that same combination for every single product in my cart here, right? So we'll go with Apple small, and we'll go with Apple small for this product as well. So I guess right off the bat, you can see for our cloud storage product, I've set this product up so that it's not going to get taxed. And because it's a cloud storage product, right, we're not shipping anything, we're not going to charge shipping for this product either. So that's some of the differences and some of that, again, dynamic capabilities that CPQ is going to offer, when calculating your quote. So for laptop, I've essentially applied if I look at my cheat sheet here, I've applied a 7% tax rate for the laptop product, and then a 6% tax rate for my phone product, right? So 6% of $1,500, that's going to return $90. 7% of $3,000 is going to return $210, right? So again, just some of that differentiation that you're going to be able to, have when you're making these calculations in the cart. So in my case for tax, what I've done is I've essentially given a certain tax code to laptop. I've given a certain tax code to phone. So because, as we all know, different products, different codes, they're going to get a different rate. So that's where that kind of origination of a tax rate comes into play. And then part two of my tax calculation is I'm going to be looking at the account because, again, as we know, different locations, they're going to have different tax rates. So let's say I was in Massachusetts, and again, I have a 6% rate for my phone. Well, if I was in California, that phone, that same product, if it's sold in California, might have a 8% tax rate. So you're going to have that functionality, utilizing CPQ. So, I shouldn't say you're going to have it, but you can set up that functionality utilizing CPQ. So that's that's the tax. So, and that's at the line level. So to then basically, if we go up here to the top and show you guys how some of these totals are calculating. So tax amount, right? Each line, so 210 plus 90, that's going to give me 300. So you can see my total tax amount. It's not at 300 though, right? It's at 309, and the reason being is because I'm also applying a tax rate to my shipping and handling amount. So if I go back to my cheat sheet here, so I've set this up ahead of time, and I am applying a 10% tax rate to the shipping and handling for any orders, any quotes calculated or sold under this account. So again, 10% rate is going to be applied to tax. And if right now we look at our tax, we're going to have, 10% is going to be applied to shipping and handling. So if we look at our shipping and handling, $90, 10% of that's going to be $9. So that's going to return us, right, our 300 plus 9 for 309. So total tax calculation taking place here for everything, right? The products as well as the shipping and handling on this account. So that's the tax amounts calculation. Now let's look at the third and final shipping and handling total, right? So you can see it's going to be, these numbers are going to be pretty high, but that's not really important here, especially just if we're looking at the product name, right? It wouldn't make much sense to charge $60 for one laptop, $30 for one phone, but that's besides the point. Just want to show you guys the functionality. So again, if I go back to my cheat sheet here on my other screen, so I've essentially set up my tax rate as such. It's going to be tier based. So what I'm going to do is look at, every single calculation of this quote, I'm going to look at the net total of the products that are going to be eligible for shipping and handling. So in my case, I'm going to grab the net total of laptop and phone, right? We're going to exclude cloud storage, right? Because it's not a physical product, so it's not going to get shipped. So I'm going to look at the net total of my laptop and my phone, and I've tiered my shipping and handling based off of that net total. So if the net total, grand total of the net of those two products combined, if it's anywhere between $1 and $2,999, my shipping and handling rate is going to be 1%. If it's anywhere from $3,000 to just under $5,000, that shipping and handling is going to bump up to 2%. Tier 3 is going to go up to 3%. Tier 4 is going to go up to 4%. So a tiered shipping and handling calculation is in play here as well. So how that's going to work is, or I guess to show you guys how that's going to work, right? So you can see right now I have a shipping and handling percentage rate of 2%, which comes to $90, right? So what that essentially tells us is we have a $4,500 net total here for our eligible shipping and handling products. So 4,500, applying a 2% shipping and handling rate to that is going to give us $90. So again, that's tiered, right? So that would be that 4,500 total. That's going to fall into tier 2. Now, if we get up to anywhere over, it looks like 7%, that's going to be our tier 4, or not 7%, 7,000. So if I just bump up my net total for these two lines to be a combined amount over 7,000, that's going to get us to our fourth and final tier for shipping and handling. That's going to bump it up to 4%. So let me go with, I believe if I go with Apple Big, that should get us into the, I could, of course, adjust the quantities here as well, but Apple Big should bump us up. Yep, so that gets us into tier 4 for shipping and handling. That's going to return a 4% rate of $280 based off of $7,000, right? So basically, we just looked at 3 different dynamic calculation totals that we can calculate all within the cart, utilizing some really powerful CPQ tools. So the third and final, and I should have talked about this before I got into shipping and handling, the third and final thing I wanted to show you guys was what happens if an account is exempt, right? What if it shouldn't be getting taxed at all? So I'm going to save my quote here. We'll go back to my account, and I have this tax status field. So right now it's set to non-exempt. Well, let's go ahead and make it exempt, right? For whatever reason, we all have those accounts that just shouldn't get taxed. So now if I go back into my cart, we're not going to see anything changed yet because we haven't actually calculated it. There's a really easy way to kind of bypass, I don't want to call it an issue, but if you ever run into a situation where you have an account that goes from non-exempt to exempt and there's open shopping carts or open quotes, you can always just push in a manual recalc via the data loader. I shouldn't say manual, it's pretty automatic, but you can always utilize the data loader to push in a recalculation. But in my case, you can see nothing's changed, right? My account, my quote is still getting taxed. Now, if I calculate this, all of my tax amounts are going to go down to 0 because my account is now marked as exempt. So I'll save this. And now because we're, these are our fields, right? So now we can store these on the quote lines. We can store this on the quote record. We can pull them onto the quote template so that, when the rep generates that PDF, they can get it over to the customer, and the customer can look at the rates, right? They can see what they're getting taxed on and what the shipping and handling is going to be, all in real time. So again, really powerful, couple of different CPQ features that I'm utilizing here. And it just makes life definitely a whole lot easier for, I would say, all parties involved anywhere in the, that quote to cash process.